Forests can be creepy, foreboding, and downright haunting at the best of times, day or night. So when you filter in experiences of creepy stalkers, unexplained footsteps prowling around at night, individuals acting sinisterly, and unexplainable screams, it can be a truly nightmarish place to be. Today we'll be taking a look at 5 spine-chilling videos that will make you think twice about venturing out into the wilderness. As always, hit those lights and prepare to be scared. Camping inside his truck overnight in Sun River, Montana, YouTuber Noah quickly realizes that he's not alone in the forest. Take a look at this.
I'm currently sleeping in the back of my truck right now. I don't even know what time it is. And there's someone walking around my truck right now. I've never been this scared. And this doesn't make any sense because I parked somewhere where you couldn't see. No one was on that road. He's literally knocking. He's literally knocking on my truck. The canopy, the back door's locked. I've never been scared before ever. I don't think he knows that there's anyone in here. He's literally peeking through the door right now. He's still walking around my truck. I'm gonna try to see if I can flash my light to get him scared. So he runs away. There he is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Calling it the scariest night of his life, Noah is awoken during the night to sounds of somebody walking around outside his truck. With the prowler repeatedly circling the vehicle, Noah gets his camera out to record, and then remembers that he'd actually left his only firearm in the front cab. As he's explaining that he parked up in a place where nobody should have been able to see him from the main road, he suddenly realizes that the person outside is now touching his truck, before we hear a terrifying series of knocks from the outside. As the knocking continues, Noah is understandably shaken, choosing not to alert the creeper that he's inside the vehicle. We can hear the footsteps continue to crunch around outside, circling before one of the door handles is tried, which is fortunately locked. Checking the time on his phone, as 2:30 in the morning, the footsteps gradually recede as the person seemingly leaves. If this isn't scary enough, when Noah checks the outside of his truck the following day, it's covered in dusty handprints, scratches, and finger marks, where the intruder had dragged their hands along the side of the vehicle. There are handprints around the driver, passenger, and rear door handles, and the rear windscreen. Directly above where Noah's head was lying is smeared with prints, and disturbingly looks as if somebody was trying to get a peek inside. It's safe to say that Noah had a truly lucky escape here, both that all the doors of his truck were securely locked, and also that the prowler didn't try any harder to get inside, especially considering there was a firearm in the front cab, completely out of reach to Noah. What would you be doing in this situation, and what do you think the intentions of the stranger was? Hiking alone in the frosty wilderness of New Brunswick, Canada, Reddit user Extra Dimension 276 captured what can only be called nightmarish sounds. Hearing the distressed warning calls of a pelleted woodpecker, followed by an assortment of other odd noises. Lucky for us, they got the phone out to record. Take a listen.
What the fuck was that? I heard some shit right here.
Naturally, their first response is to whisper,
What the fuck was that?
as we're sure many of us would in the same situation. Having missed the first sound, they start recording just in time to capture a blood-curdling bellow that lasts a crazy full 10 seconds, followed by another just slightly shorter. Understandably, the uploader stops filming to focus on getting out of there as quickly as possible, but interestingly, he comments that the recording actually doesn't do justice to just how loud the noise was, saying it resonated way more in person. I feel like it vibrated so hard that the mic couldn't handle the frequency. The noise sounds alarmingly like a scream of pain or anguish, but most definitely does not sound human. Even when the video starts, it's interesting to note the dead silence of the forest, an eerie phenomenon that's said to signal a predator lurking near, as sometimes insects and birds will go silent to avoid attracting the predator's attention, resulting in an unnaturally quiet forest. It's also far creepier that the source of the sinister noises cannot be seen on camera, yet sound pretty close all the same. Many people who viewed the video believe that the uploader has recorded the infamous Sasquatch's howl, and there are plenty of videos out there with similar sounding screams, some of which we've covered in previous videos. Yet others are more skeptical, believing instead that the noise is from a wounded cougar or wildcat, or even strained machinery. Whatever you believe is making the terrifying sounds, we sure as hell wouldn't like to come face to face with it alone in the wilderness. I think you'll agree. This next video is truly frightening, and seems like a situation straight out of a David Fincher movie. Elisa Vanilla is a YouTuber who vlogs her solo female van life travelling around America, living out of her vehicle and experiencing different nomadic communities. And it was just outside of Tucson, Arizona that a disturbing encounter occurred. Let's check out the video first.
Hi.
You doing okay?
Yes, I am.
I'm just kind of checking, making sure everybody's got enough water and...
Oh, okay. Are you a ranger or?
No, I just live close.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of come out and check, make sure, because I know there's a lot of people that come out here that don't have a lot.
I'm fine right now. I don't know if I'll stay here, but I just wanted to check it out and see. It's pretty hot though.
Do you do this, like, is this what you do for a living? Do you, like, travel around or what?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah?
Yep,
So
gotta
how long
wait
have
it
you
out.
been doing this for?
I've been in the van for like almost a year, last November, so getting close. But I was traveling around in my car since 2020, so it's been a while.
So you've been a nomad for a while.
Yeah, yes, I'm used to it.
And you're enjoying it, I suppose.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alright, well, just so you know, so you're not worried, I drive by, when I'm here, I actually work in Colorado. I live here, like a mile and a half from here.
Okay.
And so I kind of drive through when I'm here, just checking on people, making sure they got water, got what they need.
Cool.
So if you do stay, I'll see you again, but that's all I'm doing.
Right.
Nothing spooky.
Okay. Well.
I had shit stolen from my house 2 years ago. So 2 years ago I started doing that. I started making myself open to people that were out here, giving them my name so they knew who I was, so they saw my face, and you know what? It's worked for me. Nobody steals shit from my house anymore.
And what is your name?
Johnny. If you need water, I have a hose outside that runs all the time. You're willing to stop there, fill your water jugs, whatever you need. And those that I get to know well enough that I trust, they're welcome to actually come in and use the shower a couple times a week. I'm not home. My wife is. My children are. So if you need a shower, you're welcome to, come by. Probably would work better, since you're a female, it would probably work better if you came by while I was there a couple of times, just so my wife gets to know you, so she doesn't think there's something stupid going on.
Right.
But, if you need a shower or something, that's not a problem. But, if you want to stop by, it's not a problem.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right.
All right.
I'll let you have your evening.
All right, enjoy your rounds.
Set up on a stretch of legal land, Alyssa is going through the process of washing and drying her laundry when the sound of another vehicle approaches. Off camera, a male voice asks if she's okay, if she has enough water, and informs her that he's just checking on everyone in the area. This all sounds polite and professional enough, except when Alyssa asks if he's a park ranger, he says he's not, and just lives nearby, and likes to check on people in the area. He proceeds to ask her questions about her van setup and living arrangements, then continues a long-winded explanation of where he lives and why he's driving around, almost as if he's making an excuse to stick around, before unsettlingly inviting her to use his shower if she needs to. Once he leaves, Alyssa is naturally creeped out and is certain that the man hasn't actually left the area, and sure enough, he returns. Pulling up alongside Alyssa's van in his own ATV, he bizarrely informs her that apparently there is a man up on the mountain watching her through binoculars. Obviously unnerved, Alyssa says she's now unsure about staying, and the ATV driver further claims that the man watching her goes around offering water to people, much the same as he's been doing. The more he talks about this supposed observer, the more we feel he's definitely just making up the story as he goes along, and when Alyssa says she's planning on not staying at all, his whole demeanour unnervingly changes. For close to 40 seconds, he just stares and watches her eerily, without saying a word or even attempting a smile. Even though we're watching a video, you can certainly feel a sinister undertone, heightened by the fact that his sunglasses do not let us read his eyes. When Alyssa finally asks him if he needs anything else, he simply replies no, all pretense of friendliness seemingly gone, and as soon as he leaves, she quickly packs up all of her equipment and makes the smart decision to leave as soon as possible. Something tells us that Alyssa very luckily dodged a bullet here. It doesn't bear thinking about what could have happened once it went dark, either if the sinister ATV driver decided to return, or even if he was telling the truth about a creeping stranger watching. What would you do in this situation? Stay for the night, or leave immediately? The following encounter is one that can only be described as downright disturbing, let alone incredibly bizarre. The short clip we're about to show you comes from a user on Reddit called I Am Johnson Mendonca, who captioned the video, "Creepy Man in the Woods" or "Skinwalker." Take a deep breath and take a look.
How you doing? Oh, just some cruisers, man. That's crazy shit. This guy's crawling at me like it's goddamn. What's up, dude?
The video, presumably filmed in America, is taken from the edge of a long, lonely road running through dense forestland, and initially shows a shirtless man stood in the undergrowth, beside the cameraman's vehicle, twitching erratically. He only grunts incoherently in response to being asked how he's doing. He then drops to his knees and starts crawling towards the cameraman, exorcist-like on all fours, while silently clambering up the small hill. There's just something about the movement of his limbs and his body that is so creepy. It's almost spider-like as his arms and legs crawl along, low to the ground, as if stalking something or someone, but it's the lack of head movement that really gives us the creeps. If you take notice of it during the clip, his head remains locked in place and staring at the camera as his body moves erratically. Not once does he take his eyes off the cameraman, not even to look down where he's placing his hands on a forested floor that would be littered with sharp branches, stones and insects. Reddit users in the comments believe the man is high on methamphetamines, a potent and highly addictive drug that stimulates dopamine in the brain, leading to increased energy and euphoria, but also heightens aggression, irritability and violence, and can lead to severe psychosis, such as paranoia, delusions and hallucinations. Fortunately, the video cuts off just as the man crawls to the edge of the road and the cameraman's vehicle drives off. Who knows what could have happened if he hadn't left, as it looks as though the sinister individual wasn't just looking for a lift and a friendly chat. Our final disturbing forest encounter caught on camera comes from YouTuber Hike Slam, a solo camper and hiker called Phil, who explores the wild trails and backwoods of the United States' northeastern coast. When he planned to camp along a section of the Appalachian Trail in Virginia, he had a very frightening experience that we're about to share. Take a look at the video.
So the hike's been awesome so far. I mean, I've only been out for about half hour. River behind me, really pretty day. As I was walking up, I saw some trash in the trail, and I came across this. So some Bud Light cans, plastic bat, some writing on some of this garbage. This one. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. Song lyrics. Other weird things. Well, hopefully I don't get murdered out here. That would totally ruin my day. Well, let's keep going.
Whilst walking the trail, Phil initially comes across some scattered litter and debris, whilst although frustrating, doesn't seem all too unusual for a hiking route, until he takes a closer look. Some of the plastic bottles are completely covered in handwritten jumbled text, including the rather ominous quote, "Hangman is coming down from the gallows." The further Phil walks along the trail, the more debris, junk, garbage, and even notes he finds riddled with the same handwriting, amongst other more sinister items, including at one point a dead duck, which he speculates has only been killed and placed there recently. Puzzled by all of this, he takes a look at the note, which is similarly muddled and disjointed, with a mix of song lyrics, ramblings about federal law enforcement and CIA operatives looking for the author, and eerie mentions of the murder of Scott Lilly, which we'll come back to later. Phil then notices a small makeshift campsite around 20 yards from him with a fire burning, but smartly chooses to move on rather than investigate. After setting up camp at an overnight fire pit and wooden shelter, Phil cooks himself a meal and gives a commentary on the area and the trail. Everything seemingly safe and back to normal after the day's weird discoveries, but then night falls. While working through a shelter log, left there for hikers to leave a small note or anecdote about their journey, he comes across that familiar handwriting once again, notably the section claiming, "In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail in solitary confinement." Further bizarre ramblings mention cases of 2 missing boys, false prophets, random Metallica lyrics, and the forest echoing with laughter. Phil is certain that the writings belong to the same shady character who he'd seen earlier. Seriously creeped out, he's getting ready to turn in, and even jokes half-heartedly that he's sleeping with his shoes on, just in case he has to make a quick getaway. Which unfortunately is exactly what he has to do.
I'm out on the trail. It's the middle of the night. I was down in my tent, not asleep, kind of just like lying there staring at the tent walls, listening to all the sounds, and then I heard somebody down by the shelter. So at first I had to convince myself it wasn't what I thought I heard, but it definitely was somebody down there. So I didn't even wait to see or go down to see who it was, see if it was like a bunch of teenage girls or something. I don't know. I was just like, I am getting out of here. So I packed up all my stuff, and I packed it up very quickly. I don't think I left anything behind, and I just walked past. As I walked past, I did look. It did look like a single guy hanging out in the shelter. He had a headlamp on. All I could really see was the light from the headlamp, so I could have been wrong. But man, it was, yeah. So I don't know. I just got out of there, and like that's the thing. It's like it was probably a guy who was out like me, like out and wants to just go camping or spend a night out. Beautiful night. But I wasn't gonna hang around.
Alerted by noises of movement down by the wooden shelter, Phil immediately packs up his gear and returns to the trail, heading for his car, without waiting to see who or what was at the shelter. After discovering Phil's video, we carried out some research into the trail and the strange writings and uncovered some disturbing information. 30-year-old Scott Stonewall Lilly was an avid hiker and outdoorsman, but sadly on August 12, 2011, his deceased body was found in a shallow grave alongside a section of the Appalachian Trail in Virginia. he'd last been seen alive on the 31st of July, and local authorities ruled the death as homicide as a result of asphyxia by suffocation. Scott's backpack, shoes, Nintendo, and AT Trail journal have never been recovered, and tragically, his murder remains unsolved 13 years later. Unsettlingly, the mysterious writer claims to have been a person of interest in the case, and was even investigated by federal law enforcement, leading many to speculate, in addition to the strange and menacing behaviour, that he could very well have had some role in the murder. A truly terrifying thought indeed, and I'm sure Phil has spent many nights thinking about this. So those were our picks of 5 disturbing forest encounters that were caught on camera. What did you think of them? We'd love to hear your thoughts and theories, and if you have any creepy forest encounters, don't forget to share them below. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you tomorrow for another creepy video.